goodness. Oh, man. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Real Talk Live with Rodney Grimes. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Today is August 5th. And things going to be a little different today because sometimes you don't have control over everything that goes on around you. And so you make the best of it. That's what you do. My topic today, my topic today is going to probably touch a lot of people. And I keep it real, it's real talk. So I can't really see anything because I'm not working with my monitor today. So everybody that tunes in, please hit share. Please hit share. And know that I send you peace and blessings. It's Let's Talk About It Wednesday. As I shared with everyone, all the supporters on date night last Friday, that from this point on Monday will be Motivation Monday, and on Wednesday is Let's Talk About It Wednesday. So we're going to talk about it today. My energy is at a level of seriousness because this is a serious matter which I have to encounter. Now, if the phone cuts off or something happens, because I can't really see it, so I'm just going to believe that it's consistently running. And every now and then you might see me just step up and double check. My wife had to assist my sister-in-law with my mother-in-law, and so that's very, very important. So they are doing what they have to do, and as we all like to think positive and ask for prayer, I ask for prayer for my mother-in-law. That's my heart. I love her so much, and she's dealing with some things that requires sometimes some assistance. So that's what's happening right now with my wife and my sister. So my sister. My topic today, one is depression, and then the other one is going to be talking about building a strong relationship. And so I'm just thinking about how many people out there deal with depression. How many people run around and what they do is they try to hide it. You know something? I gotta grab something. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. I gotta grab something. I wanted to grab this mask. This mask is going to represent depression. So I'm going to put it on for a minute. I just want you to know that sometimes, I got on a fresh shirt, okay, nice white hat, and if I was laughing and joking and everything, you'd be like, yo, everything must be going on good in his life, and this could be with anybody around you. But behind closed doors, what you'll see, or you don't see, this is what's happening. Right? This is what you may not see. This is what you don't know about many people. This is how a lot of people operate. They operate with a mask. They operate with a mask trying to cover up things they're dealing with. Alcoholism, drug addiction, abuse, all kind of situations that they don't want the public to know about, and they will have a mask on. And depression is one serious one that many people deal with on a regular basis. A lot of them do not know how to function when they deal with it, and they deal with depression for all kind of reasons. Not all the time are you dealing with depression because you're off balance or you're sick or something. Sometimes it's just the weight of the world starting to get on you that makes you have to, it'll make you start feeling like you're responsible for everybody's downfall, or you're not living up to everybody's expectations, or you're not that person that people want you to be. One of the things that I want to make very, very clear, that you are not alone. You are not alone. I deal with it myself. I've come a long way, a long way. If, we get into some of my background, man, you would wonder how I'm able to sit here and talk to you from the things that I've dealt with as a child and the things that I deal with as an adult today. And I'm talking, a lot of times the depression will come on you and you don't even know it's coming. You just wake up and it could be sunny outside, but inside of your head it's a cloud. And what happens is you'll start walking around with a mask. You'll have a mask on, trying to make believe that everything is okay. You have a mask on, trying to hide those bad, deep, dark feelings. You have a mask on that's got you in a position where you feeling like you just don't want to be here, that nobody cares about you. You had a mask on, and that mask is covering up all that hurt and pain and discomfort. A lot of us wear that mask. A lot of us wear it and don't know how to deal with it. A lot of us are living with the mask, and it's glued to our face. And we like, do you know, like a chameleon, that you can change, the chameleon can change with the color of the environment? People do that with their masks when they're dealing with depression. They'll change in a minute, especially if they try to impress you. And just because you are well off financially does not mean that you don't deal with depression. Rich people deal with it, poor people deal with it, middle class people deal with it, men deal with it, women deal with it, children deal with it, black people deal with it, white people deal with it, Asians, Hispanics. Depression is one thing, is almost like it has that same power in a way sometimes, almost like music. Music, everybody relates to it, any music, whether they can understand the language or not. Well, you can bet this. It's so many people who are dealing with depression. This is my tea. It's in my cup. This is my photo. It's like a photo lens cup. So I'm sipping on my tea. So before I really get into this topic, if you know anybody that's dealing with depression, please hit and share. Get them on the phone and tell them they need to tune in right now, because I got some conversation for them. And the good thing is, this is Talk About It Wednesday. It's Talk About Wednesday. Now, we're talking about depression, but we're going to be talking about building a relationship as well. But before I even do that, I have to do some shout outs to some people, some birthday wishes. Today, he rest in peace, Mr. Fred Holmes. Such an amazing man. He's such an amazing man that we miss him so much, and I have nothing but positive energy and spirit for him, because he was always good to me, and I know a lot of people miss him. We also wanted to do a shout out to Javelin Belts. Javelin is a good friend of mine who I grew up with, and I want to say happy birthday to her. Angela Johnson, Angela Conti, Karen Dixon, Cameron Sheik, Tara, Tyler, and then we got Sharon Warren, Lawrence Evans. We want to say heavenly birthday to George P. Wee Parker. God is good. So I wanted to make sure that I took that opportunity. You might hear a little bit moving around or whatever, but my wife just came into the door, so she's clicking getting ready to jump in to assist. God is good. That's all I can tell you, because one of the things that I continue to do, even when I deal with my depression, I continue to stand up and fight. I stand up and try to continue to be a positive influence in other people's lives. I use the positive energy of other people to help me to deal with my depression. I sometimes call people and just talk to them. Yesterday I was in one of those real funks, and just out of the blue, Lynn Nelson, Little Feet, she just called me, just out of the blue. God is so amazing. She called me and she just happened to call at the right time. And just to call and compliment me, and she built my spirit up, because my spirit was like a cup dripping, it was dripping, and it was just dripping the energy out of me. And when she called, you know, she just says a lot of nice things, and I was so excited to receive that phone call. Also, I want to say happy anniversary, 8 years to Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo Jackson. Okay, I want to say happy anniversary to them. And then also, this is Maverick Malone. Malone, no, oh, that's Malone, Lori. Okay. 20 years, Maverick and Lori. 20 years. Okay. So, don't mind me, because I'm trying to stay focused here. Hey, Lynn. Okay, now the monitor is on, so I will start responding. Hello, Brother Rodney. You are doing well. I am in prayer as you speak. Positive energies and vibe to you and your family. Positively strong you can, and you will get through. Love, blessings, and power. Go Team Grimes. Love you, strong man. Lynn Nelson, Little Feet. I appreciate you, Lynn. You called yesterday, sweetheart. I was just, you know, I started giving praise to God. I was giving praise to Him, because when you called, I needed it. I needed it so bad. Sometimes the people around you don't even see it. You know why? Because you run around, and what you have on is the mask. You have the mask on, and you're acting like everything is okay. You're trying to stay strong and stand up and look like you're feeling good, but that mask is there. A lot of people have to deal with that. I'm telling you, you're not by yourself. In this country, can you imagine how many Black Americans are suffering from depression because of the way we're being treated? In this country, can you imagine how many white Americans suffer from it because they see the way that we was treated and they ain't have nothing to do with it? Can you imagine how many just people in general are dealing with depression because somebody's in their house is beating on them or molesting them or stealing from them, trying to make them feel less than? So many people have so many things that can cause that depression to set in. Problems on your job, your children's on drugs, or your spouse is on drugs, or you on drugs. You know, we got young people out here that's trying to do right, and their parents on drugs that'll cause depression to set in, and they don't know how to deal with it. But the first thing, what you have to do is you have to take the mask off. Take the mask off and don't hide from it. Don't hide from it. Don't run from it. Deal with it. Deal with it, because when you start to know that that's what you're dealing with, then you can start to push that negative energy away from you. I had Tracy Clark on Monday. What a blessing! What a blessing she was, and she was just telling me about dealing with some situations, negative energy, depression, anxiety, and some other things. And sometimes you gotta sit back and just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath so that you can regroup. What I want to do is, it says signs and symptoms of depression. Okay? Let's talk about some of them. Let's talk about some of them. Hold on, let me see. Rachel Pope, God is with you all the time. Stay in the spirit and keep flowing in His grace. How about that? You know, it's real talk. Let me tell you how some of my depression will come in. I try so hard to be a good person. My father was real abusive when we was growing up. My father used to beat on us, beat on my mother. Some of my siblings don't talk about it, but I do because I have to get it out. And so I really didn't even know how to be a dad. I didn't know how to be a husband because I wasn't taught that. At one time, I was on a talk show one time that I had to confess that I used to be an abusive man. I didn't care who you was. If you did something to me, woman, man, baby, or child, I hit you. Because I saw my father do it. I remember on several relationships I had that one of them, the young lady is deceased, so I won't say her name. But I remember she used to be in my house and she would always hit me. And she always had these little funny moods with her. And she'd hit me and didn't want to have sex. And I didn't understand it. Till one day I went down to her house and I was sitting waiting for her to do something and her mom and dad was fighting. The mother had a knife and the father had a baseball bat. And what happened was they was in there going at it. And I was talking about, I got to get out of here. She's like, no, don't leave. And I was like, you crazy. But at the same time, because I grew up experiencing some of that, I realized that, man, she's going through it. And I saw her having to deal with something that now I was like, now I know why she would hit me and thinking that this was the way we were supposed to function. And I knew why she used to have these mood swings. It was the depression. Now, this was funny. Her mom and dad, after they was fighting everything, we ended up still sitting in the living room. Next thing you know, they was up there loving each other. That's a whole different story. But I just want you to know some of these things affects people in their households, children. You got to think about when you're arguing and having arguments or you being physical in front of your children. You start to establish a relationship for them with depression because they may not know how to express themselves. So let's talk about some of the symptoms. Feeling helpless, hopeless. You know, you feeling like, there's no reason to get up in the morning. There's no reason to even try to clean up. No reason to go brush your teeth or take a shower. You just want to put the cover over your head and you just want to lay in bed. You just don't want to talk to nobody. When you see signs like that in your family or one of your partners or your friend, pay attention. Pay attention because they're dealing with something. They could be wearing that mask and you don't really see exactly what they're going through, but their actions can start to define their reactions around you. I say an action causes a reaction. Let me tell you something. That's so true. People can do something and cause depression to set right in on you. On your job. You can have that person on your job that keep riding you and riding you and riding you. Now, this is for many people. Back in the day, if you were 15, 16 years old and somebody kept riding you and riding you and riding you, what you do, you have your business, you peel their head, and then after that, the depression kind of go away because they leave you alone. But in this day and time, you could be dealing with that depression because somebody's constantly coming at you, and it's nothing that you can kind of do about it because of their position, and they'll utilize that to try to take advantage of you. As a lot of people know that misery loves company. So a lot of times people who are dealing with depression in their own way, who won't acknowledge it or won't seek help, they'll start making it so that other people will start receiving that energy and dealing with depression as well. Loss of interest in daily activities. You'll start finding yourself where you don't want to get involved in things. You don't want to participate. These signs are signs of depression. A lot of people, you got people just walk around and they would just wear the mask And to them, they doing okay. So you got to pay attention to the signs. Loss of energy, where you just don't feel like you want to do anything. I'm talking about signs that a lot of times you just think you're not feeling good and it's going to go away, but you look back, you probably wasn't having that energy all week, all last week. Secretly walking around trying to make everybody think that you're okay, because what you're doing, you're walking around, what? With the mask on. With the mask on. The mask be covering up the fact that you feel hopeless. The fact that you don't want to join in the conversation. That you don't have any energy to do anything. That mask covers you up. And it covers so that people will think that you walk around. I keep remembering when I had Harold Harris on, he said some people walk around dressed up trash can. Right now, we don't have to look at that in a negative way all the time, because they can be dressed up and full of depression. They'll cause serious issues. How about this? Is another sign that you want to pay attention. Sleep disorder, where either you're sleeping all the time or you're not able to go to sleep. Sometimes you dealing with depression, your energy is all screwed up that you cannot rest. Because your mind won't put you, you can't go find yourself in that place of relaxing and feeling that positive energy. If anybody out there that's listening is dealing with this right now, and you think about it, a lot of us are going through a rough time with this COVID-19. Finances are really falling apart. People lost their businesses, lost their homes, lost their loved ones. Can you imagine some of the people that lost their loved ones in the hospital and they couldn't even go in there to be with them to hold their hand, and then they come back and call you on the phone and tell you that you just dropped off your partner, your mom, your dad, your sister, your child, and they said that, oh, they died. And you don't know what they did or how they did it. You don't know if they was crying before they passed away. You don't know. Can you imagine some of the energy that leaves on you? That people are going home like that? Or you going home and see an eviction notice on your door? I'm just calling things out that people be dealing with that can cause depression. Another sign of depression is reckless behavior. Somebody's always grabbing at you and mad and coming at you. Angela, you said so true. You can only give them advice and be there for them. In the long run, it's up to them to get help or leave. Do you know hey Angela, you're correct. One of the things that a lot of people don't know how to do is how to get help. Some people don't even know that it's something wrong with them that can be cured. That, you can just have, what I always tell my wife, I say, learn how to read me. Learn how to read me. Learn how to read your children. Learn how to read your partner. Learn how to read your friend. Learn how to read their emotions and their walk and their talk. You'll find out that a lot of people are dealing with that depression and they don't know how to tell anybody because they feel ashamed. I remember one time talking to one of my daughters. She said, I hate it that don't nobody understand. And I had to tell her, I said, I understand. I felt like you before. I felt like I wanted to die. I felt like I wanted to cry. I felt like nobody cared about me. I felt like I couldn't do nothing right. Man, do you know how that feels? That's sometimes like a river running dry. And you can have that same system going through your body where it's just draining. Another sign of depression is overeating. You got some people just eat. people be looking at them and talking about, what's wrong with you? You allowed yourself to get that big. How did you allow yourself to get out of shape? People don't know what people are dealing with. Sometimes you have to just stop and don't be about you and look at them and read them. Talk to them, especially in your household. Have family meetings. Have one-on-one with each other. Because we got a lot of people that's dealing with depression. And let me tell you something. One of the things that's the worst thing that comes out of that is depression can lead to suicide. Depression can make people feel like there's no way out and all they want to do is take their life. Do you know? Come on now. Come on. Do you know how hard it is to take your life? Do you know how hard it is to take your own life? When a person do that, they got to be hurt really, really bad. You can't even take a match and hold it to your finger. You can't take an ink pen or a pen and stick it in your finger without saying ouch. Can you imagine how some people dealing with depression are in a bad way? If there's somebody out there that's listening to me right now, please get some help. Call somebody. Like I said, I believe I put God first. One of the things that I had put in my notes, and that was in building a strong relationship, because I'm getting ready to go there. They put God first. I remember a time when I was dealing with depression because I was coming out of a marriage, and I remember things just weren't going right, and I wanted the marriage to work, and it was a little too late, and so I was so depressed because I felt the disconnection. I felt the disconnection with my family. I have to commend my wife that I have today, who was a soldier in the process of helping me to process my pain, not looking down on me when I told her I needed to go see a psychiatrist. That's something I want to tell people too. Just because you go seek help, seeking help does not say that you are crazy. Actually, it says that you're smart. I used to be ashamed to tell people that I had to go see a psychiatrist. I had 3 different ones. I was dealing with pain from my childhood that I couldn't talk about to many people. That built up inside me. It was like a suitcase inside with a lock on it that was buried deep down inside, and all it had in there was a lot of pain and a lot of depression. And every now and then I could move a certain way, and some of it would seek out of that little compartment inside my body and send me into it just sent me into a loneliness that I couldn't even tell nobody. So what I do, I would secretly put on the mask. I put on the mask and I would walk around like it was nothing wrong. I would put on the mask and I would just try to survive. But the one thing that I do know that helped that mask come down, when I started to pray. I started to call on God. God started to make the mask go down. The mask would come back up, and I'd be praying, the mask go down. I start to talk to people, started seeking help, the mask would go down. After a while, the mask started going and sitting on the dresser. After a while, the mask, I was looking for the mask and couldn't find it sometimes because I started dealing with the depression and I started seeking help. I was looking around for the mask and said, man, boy, I don't need it. Not right now. You're not alone. Please know that. I'm just telling you, a lot of us deal with depression, and it's something that people are not proud of. People find themselves trying to look for things that make them feel good, like drugs. Yes, it can. I've been there. God wasn't ready for me, and I didn't understand until my head was clear that I am here to help someone else, and I saw my work come to light. How about that, Kim? First of all, Kim, I send peace and blessings to you, and I respect you that you are able to acknowledge that. See, a lot of people, you know, they want to put themselves in a position and say, "Oh, girl, I get my nails done every week. Girl, I get my toes done, and I'm driving a nice car, and I got a nice house, and I got nice clothes." And guess what? Sometimes when they're in the bathroom, they break down crying. Same with the men, walking around all muscled and chiseled, you know, looking good, fresh haircut, money in their pocket. They walking around like everything is okay. And then when they're alone, they find themselves dealing with some of the symptoms that I told you about. Overeating, looking for drugs, abusing their family. Come on now. Angela, absolutely, we all been there at one point. Come on now. A lot of people won't admit it. A lot of people are dealing with it right now. A lot of people are dealing with it to a point where, you know, we are really just reaching out saying, "Help me, help me, help me." But when they be saying it, this is what happens. They be saying it like this. And nobody hear them. They be crying out because of their actions. They crying out because they aggressive. They crying out because they feel the pain. They crying out because they have the shame. Some people had that mask and they just continue to walk around, and they know how to put makeup on the mask. Make the mask look pretty. So remember, if you out there, know that you can do better. Know that you can work through it. Did I ever tell you that a lot of times when I do this, when I talk about things on here, that I'm actually talking to myself? That I'm trying to save myself? God, I was told, excuse me, I was told this by a gentleman the other day, and by one of my guests the other day as well, that this was a ministry. I told him that it wasn't. Now, neither one of them knew each other. It was two different times, two different places. One person told me while he was sitting right here in the chair, and the other gentleman told me when I told him what I do and why I do it. He told me over the phone yesterday. And I said, "I'm not a minister." He said, "Well, he said, you don't have to claim it, but you are ministering to people." I said, "I'm a motivational speaker because I try to motivate." He said, "Well, you can call it what you want, but I call it a ministry." And he is a minister. And so then I realized something. I'm not claiming to be no preacher like that or nothing, but I don't have a problem saying this is God's way of having a ministry where I'm helping people, because I love doing it. And in the ministry, it helps me. See, it's real talk. This is real talk. I'm not trying to fabricate it. I don't have a drug problem. I don't have a drinking problem. You know, when you hear me cough a little bit, believe it or not, I got a cigar, 2 cigar boxes right here. I love smoking cigars, and I'm working on that because I'm going to deal with trying to break that habit. Actually, it's a habit I enjoy for real, but Sometimes when I feel a depression, I go smoke me a cigar. I sit down and just talk to myself and start to convince myself that the mass is really not there for the time being. A lot of people don't know that I don't like to claim things, but I was diagnosed with bronchitis. So, my doctor, when I tell them, they always have me say, do you smoke? I tell them no, but I smoke cigars. And they bust out laughing. They say, what? I just had you do you smoke. I said, no, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I smoke cigars. And my doctor said, come on now. He said, you got bronchitis, dude. But you know something? That's something I enjoy doing. I don't want to encourage nobody about dealing with habits and stuff. That's why I don't like judging people. We all have different things that we like to do and we do that we shouldn't do. Most of the time, when I do have a cigar, I sit back, I'll be smiling because I'll be like, man, you know darn well you shouldn't be doing this. But it is what it is. They have what they call a mild, moderate depression. They have a mild, moderate depression. That's is most common for people who are functioning on a daily basis, and they can medicate themselves to a point where they still function, and they can kind of alter things by the medication. What I'm telling you is, if you start to see any symptoms, start to acknowledge it. Confess it to yourself, confess it to God. Definitely call on our Father God. But start to seek some help. Because what happened, any of those symptoms that I talked about earlier, them symptoms, we talking about feeling helpless, loss in interest in daily activities, appetite loss or overeating, sleep disorders, not sleeping right, or sleeping too much, self-irritation. We're talking reckless behavior, concentrating problems, unexplained aches and pains. Depression will make you sick. It will make you sick. So, this is Talk About It Wednesday. Let's talk about it Wednesday. I decided to talk about depression because several people that I had talked to in the last few days, few of them, they was telling me that they was dealing with it. And then when I acknowledged to them that I was dealing with it too, they was like, what? Like, man? Some people look at me like, yo, dude, you're a strong brother. Let me tell you something. I am. I'm a strong black man. I consider myself a king. I do. But sometimes I'm a king with depression. Sometimes I'm a strong man with depression. Do you know what it's like when people are hating you just because of the color of your skin? Yeah, when I say, do you know what it's like? I guarantee you there's millions of black people that can tell you. That you wonder, why are they treating me like that just because I'm darker than they are? Don't you know that plays something on your mind? It works on your spirit. Had you ever thought about this? Let me tell you something. Okay, we're not going to talk about if it's black. How about a woman who can't grow hair? Always have to wear a wig. And when she take the wig off, she hate herself. Because something's going on in her body where her hair's falling off. How about a person who has a sickness that they're dealing with, that they're so scared about dying that they don't know how to talk to somebody? That the depression start to cause them to seek drugs and alcohol and to be reacted to people negatively. Let me tell you something. Those are signs of depression. Please do not feel like you're alone. Seek help. Ask somebody to help you. Talk to somebody. I'm hoping my friend, one of my best friends, I'm not going to call his name, but I'm hoping he's listening. He said he was. He called me, and he was telling me he's going through something, and he just wanted to talk to me. And he left me this crazy message. I love him so much because me and him, that's how we do. He left me a message talking about he's going to whoop my tail and some more stuff when he see me. But when he talked to me today, all he expressed to me is that, man, sometimes I need you. Sometimes I'm going through something. I didn't even get mad because I love him. Because he don't know that sometimes I need him too. Sometimes I try to wear the mask like everything is going well, and I don't want him to see me struggle. But if he's watching, I love you, dude. I heard your cry today. And I'm letting you know, yo, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for us. I talked to another long-time friend today. I'm not calling his name either. I remember when he used to deal with it. If he watching, I know he know. Because I helped him through a lot of rough times dealing with depression. Good dude, man. Love him. Love him. Hadn't talked to him in a long time. Had a chance to hear his voice today. And I remember him dealing with it as well. See, a lot of us will look at it and we'll think that we're the only ones that's going through it. But no. And it's not easy. So, we get ready. Hey, it's Real Talk Live with Rodney Brown's People to People, Power to Power, Positive Thinking People. Let me tell you something. God is good. Please take the time out to hit share. Please do that. Because this message today and this conversation could definitely save some people's lives and let them know that they're not alone. My next, we get ready to change the direction. We get ready to change the direction. We get ready to change that direction because I want to talk about building a strong relationship. Come on now, work with me. I gotta drink my tea because as I talk, I start to feel that. Go ahead. She's getting ready to say hello.
Good evening. We want to welcome on Rachel, Kimberly Wilson-Litch, Sharon McDonald, Danielle Flanagan, Kendall Thompson, Lynn Nelson, Felicia Harrison, Michelle Edicott, Angela Gomez, Nicole Campbell, Regina Young, hey Gina, Lisa Love Darden, Daryl Price, Nanine Price, and Joe Baltimore. Hey Joe.
So let me tell you. So I know a lot of people, like, probably have a lot of people that not want to tune in today. That's okay. Because not every day are we going to have a big audience. But as some people told me the other day, they said, when you're putting out a message, the message is for somebody and the right person to be hearing. See, that's God. That's God working. It don't mean everybody got depression. So, but you know something? This could be at the right time just for that one person. And if I help just one person today, just one person, I give glory and praise to my Father God. I just say, thank you, Lord. If I just help one person. So, remember, if you're dealing with depression, please know that you're not alone. Seek some help. Call a friend. Call somebody and tell them that you need help. Let them know what you're going through. Somebody that you can trust. Trust. Come on now. We get ready to change direction now. Now you get ready to see my spirit pick up just a little bit because we're talking about building a strong relationship. So, let me tell you something. It is important to work on your relationship in all areas. So I had wrote down, I went through, I got some notes to follow today. And this was funny. I wrote all these notes and was looking at stuff, and then I had at the bottom I put on there, remember to put God first in everything you do. I thought about that. I said that should have been the first. That should have been number one. But then I also wrote up under there, if your partner, your friend, or whoever isn't spiritual, no worries. Just let them watch you move in a positive direction. Let them see your heart for what your heart is made of. If you're sincere in what you do, they don't have to come and tell you that they know God. They'll see God in you. Building a relationship, it takes work. When I say building a strong relationship, let's start with you first. You have to build a relationship with yourself. You have to build a relationship with yourself to start showing love to yourself so that you can know how to love somebody else. You practice on yourself. I'm not telling you to be selfish, but you can practice on yourself being good to you. Being good to you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to me. I mean, sometimes I have to tell you, Rodney, I'm going to be good to you today and buy you a nice little fresh shirt or whatever, or take you and go get that fish sandwich you really like. Build that relationship. It says how to build good relationships. Okay, develop your people skills. Good relationship starts with good people skills. How about that? Work on your people skills, on how you respond to people. Work on how you talk to people. Work on how you talk to your partners, your loved ones, your wives, your husbands. See, sometimes we find ourselves in a relationship and we forget about the feelings of the other person. It says, identify your relationship needs. Look at your own relationship needs, analyze them, and then you can pay attention to other people's needs as well. That's building on a relationship. Something else I got to take this opportunity to do. I am not a philosopher, teacher. I'm not a psychologist or nothing like that. I'm just a man that loves people. I love people. I love seeing people happy. I love helping people. So don't take it like I think I know everything. No, I don't. I talk to many people and I take their advice and just share it. A lot of times I tell them I be stealing their ideas. I steal their ideas not to go make money, but I steal their ideas if it's going to help somebody. If it's going to help them change their life. And knowing that building strong relationship with people, that's what happens. You change the way you live. You change the way people respond to you. You got to schedule these times in your day to work on being aware of how you're treating people. You know, you got some people that every time people get around, they be looking at them and gritting on them and everything. You know why? Because those people don't build relationships with other people. Those people are all about themselves. Some people talk about, I don't need nobody. I can do this by myself, because you're not a good relationship builder. So you come up with this excuse and say, I don't need them. But let me tell you something. Let your legs get cut off, because that can happen. Let you lose your hands in a car accident or something. And you haven't built some good relationships, you're going to be in trouble. Think about those things. It says, appreciate others. Building good relationships start by showing appreciation, that you care. You know, I told you that sometimes when I be doing this, my wife will look at me because she don't never know what I'm going to say. So, when I was dealing with my issues and everything, you know, I lashed out at my wife. Not physically, I was just talking at her and saying she didn't do this, and this ain't happening, and this and that, and this and that. And, you know, the good woman that she is, she sat there and she absorbed that. But at the same time, I left out of the room, and I figured I went to do something. And when I came back, because I work on our relationship, building a good relationship, I had to come back and tell her, you know, that I love her, and that I didn't mean to make her feel bad, and I did. But you know what makes our relationship so strong? Is that I'm man enough to come back and say I'm sorry. I'm man enough to know that it's not just about me. It's not just about my feelings. No matter what I was discussing with her that I felt was right, it's not right to not build that relationship up. Because every time you break that relationship down, it's hard to put that brick back in there. You have to watch what you say. Avoid gossip. Oh my goodness. Come on now. You want to build a relationship, don't be a third party person. I don't want to hear what they had said. If they didn't call me on the phone and they didn't come knock on my door or they didn't write me a letter, I don't want you to call and tell me what they said about me. Because those people that do that, they're relationship destroyers. They're not building relationships. Don't feed into the gossip. You know something? If I was on here right now talking about how to win the lottery and things like that, a lot of people would probably be, they'd be so excited. But what I'm doing is talking about things that we really have to deal with. I'm talking about things that we got to work on. You got to work on building those relationships with people. Put out positive energy. Put out positive energy. Put out positive energy in your house. Let me tell you something. I'm looking at notes on the paper, but sometimes I just got to talk from the gut. You know something? When your children see good relationships between you and their partners, their parents, they learn how to have good relationships with their friends. If you're coming in cussing and fussing all the time, you're not building a good relationship in the mind of your child. Your child is looking at you saying, oh, my daddy called her the B word. Or my mom called him the F word or something negative. And you know what you're doing? You're breaking down that relationship, not just between you and your partner because they're feeling bad, but you're breaking down the relationship with your child. Work on being positive, putting out that positive energy, working on a bond. Work on a bond that's going to put you where you're not going to be selfish. You're going to be looking, you're going to be saying, you know what? I love you. And it's not just about me. It's about you today. You know, sometimes I just look at some roses when I'm going to the place, I go in CVS or whatever, and I just think about it. You know what I do? My wife ain't did nothing to deserve them things extra. You know what I do? I do it because I'm building a good relationship. She's been good to me 15 years. So sometimes I just go and do it just to show that positive energy and that I'm working on building that good foundation in that relationship. You know, it says, what are the 5 most important things in a relationship? Come on. One of them is trust. You have to build trust. So I'm going to tell you, I want to build a good relationship with a lot of you out there. Let me tell you something. I'm on Facebook a lot, okay? And I go on different people's pages, and I'm a professional photographer, and I love beautiful people. But I love my wife. If I put on your page, I say, hello, beautiful, or something like that, my wife talked to me about that, and she may not want me to say it, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want people to know that I'm building a positive relationship with you, and I'm going to continue to build a positive relationship with my wife. That don't mean I'm trying to sleep with you. That don't mean that I'm trying to disrespect my wife. I just love beautiful people. I'm a photographer. If you got on something beautiful, I'm going to tell you, hello, beautiful, how you doing? Oh, you're gorgeous. Because you are. That doesn't mean that I'm you know, let me tell you something. I'm trying to establish a good relationship between me, you, and them. I keep it real talk. So sometimes I just got to address things as they are. So, you know, I don't want you to think I'm that perfect person. So sometimes I have to talk about the things that affects me. It says, knowing when to take the hit on responsibility of a situation. Sometimes building a good relationship, you got to take the hit and you got to be the one to say, you know what, it was my fault. Even sometimes when it's not yours. Hold on a second. We got some comments coming in here. Let me see. Real men can say, I'm sorry. I love that. And real women can say, I'm sorry too. Thank you, Jesus. Lynn, you know, That's one of the things that a lot of people run around. Reason why they having problems building relationships, because they let their pride get in the way. They don't know how to come back and say, I messed up, I stepped on your foot, or I stole it and I'm sorry, or I cheated on you and I didn't mean to. I'm not telling you these things are good, but when you're trying to build a relationship, what you want to build is you want to build a foundation of trust. You want to build a foundation of positive energy between the two people. You want to work on that, because that's going to make life so much better. I got a lot of people negative in my life. Something happened today, I'm not going to discuss it. It really hurt me. It really hurt me today. Something somebody did in my family. And I had to think about it. And it just made me really go to a point where I said, you know something? I cannot just look at it as a negative thing. Maybe they really didn't mean any harm. Maybe they didn't. So you know what? And to keep a good relationship, I just want to look at the positive side of it. Regardless of whatever their intent was, I'm not going to look at the negative of it, because I don't want to bring that negativity in me. I got to say thank you to Tracy Clark, because Tracy told me that the other day. She said, Rodney, don't be holding that negativity from other people. She said, let it go. Let me see what you got there. What you got? It says, love builds one another up. You know, let me tell you something. That is so true. Love builds. That's almost, again, another strong foundation. Communication is key. That's another foundation. When you talk about able to sit down and talk to people, it says, yes, good relationship with, what's that? Pate? Pate? I got Pate 6. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what you meant. Sean Harris, you said good relationship with, I think that you meant patience. You know, sometimes you'll try to write something in the computer or whatever, it'll put something totally different. I want to say that you know something, that's what you meant. And if not, we won't make it that until you correct it. But you know what? Building a good relationship takes patience. How about that? Angela says, so true, and nothing wrong with that. People admire beauty. You know something? That's me. Angela, you are beautiful. I smile every time I see your face. Rachel Pope, you are beautiful. Let me tell you something. I have so many people out there that I admire. I like your spirit. I like what you do. I'm in love with my wife. I'm in love with my wife. But that doesn't stop me from admiring beauty of other people. I keep it real. If I think you're beautiful, I'm going to tell you. If I think you're beautiful, I'm going to tell you. So I just wanted to put that out there. If some people looking on there and they said, oh, Rodney, he's a flirt. You know, my wife told me one day, she said, sometimes watch how you say it. Because people are making it, they won't come at you and receive it the way you meant it. Well, let me tell you something. I'm telling you, you know what? If you're beautiful and I see it, I'm gonna tell you. And that's even with a man. And I'm not against gay men. You know, you do what you do. But if I see a good looking man and he's sharp, I say, bro, man, I gotta come shake your hand, man. You look good. I don't have no problem with doing that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Building relationships, man, is good. Building relationships with people is good, because people need people. People to people, power to power, power to think people. Let me tell you something. So, a lot of people are looking at their relationships around them, and they don't understand why so many things be going wrong. But they're not working on building good relationships outside of their spirit, outside of their place of rest, in the street. I have a good relationship with my neighbors, and a lot of them, I don't even know their name. I just wave at them, and they wave back at me. One of my neighbors rode by, and she said, I don't know her last name, so I can just say her name, Carolyn. I doubt if she's looking at this. But one day she rode by and she said, "Hey neighbor." She said, "How you doing?" I said, "Fine." She said, "What's your name?" I said, "Rodney." She said, "My name's Carolyn." I said, "Thank you. Have a good evening. I'm blessed. You know, I send you peace and blessings." And she smiled. We wave every time. You know what? We have a good relationship. We have a good relationship, and we never broke bread with one another. I never picked her newspaper up or nothing like that. But good relationships is good, and you should always concentrate on trying to build a positive relationship with people. It says, "Rodney, do you know about agape love?" Come on now. Do I know? Do I know about agape love? That's the love of God. That's the love that God has in us. That's the love that God gives us. That unconditional love. I know about agape love because I try to give it. But one of late grandmother, Zena's late grandmother, she said, everybody's not going to let you be good to them. You know, everybody's not going to let you be nice to them. She said, but when they do, she just remove herself. But let me explain something to you. Not all the time do I remove myself. What I do is I go in. Zena will tell you, we go into the store sometime, and I'll say, "Look at her over there, the lady over there, gritting, mad at the world." You know what I do? I go up there and say, "Hey, you want me to buy you a smile?" Then look at me. I said, "I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. You having a bad day? God loves you." I start working on a relationship right there. I start taking that negative and I turn it around. And I don't let them put that on me. Because I want to, when I come back, you know, a lot of times when I come back and that lady see me, she say, "Oh Lord," she get to smiling right when I start coming up. Because I worked on that relationship from the beginning. It says, stepping in without being asked. Okay, let me hold. Hey, my brother Gerald, greetings. I've been with my mom and moving around quite a bit. I send peace and blessings to you, my brother. If you missed the early part of the program, man, go back and listen to it, man, because we was talking about depression. And it might be some people that, you know, that you want to make sure that you can share that information with. So please do so. Hey, remember that Gerald McCoy is Nay Simone. Nay Simone Food Project. I'm trying to tell you. Nay Simone. My wife trying to correct me. I'm going to say it the way I want to say it. Nay Simone. Oh, it's Nay Simone. Yeah. I got to throw it. 202-664-6327. Hey, call Gerald. Call him. I'm trying to tell you. Hey, Gerald, we about to do for another one of them pies. Also, I got a girlfriend that I'm going to have to buy one of them pies for because she said she wanted one. So, and I'm going to call her name out. I ain't going to say her last name, but if she watching, sure, and I'm going to get that pie for you. I'm going to get that pie for you. Hey, so I'm going to have to talk to you, Gerald. I ain't calling her last name, but I'm going to tell her. She did say she wanted the pie, so I got to figure it out. But all y'all that missed, go back and look at that program we have. You know what we was doing in that program? We was building a strong relationship with Gerald. Gerald McCoy, we built a strong relationship, and we're going to continue to build that relationship. With all the other people that's been out there, we putting ourselves in that position where we're going to keep building that relationship with them. So, let me tell you something. If you didn't get the number, it's 202-664-6327. I'm going to continue building relationships with all those people who are out there trying to move forward. Because, hey, you know what? That's what God asked me to do. I got something else down the line I got to share with you. A lot of you probably dealing with it and experiencing it right now, but I gotta find a way to do that. I said, Michael, hey, how you doing, Michael Wireman? First of all, before I even read your message, bro, I send you peace and blessings, man. You're a good dude, man. I just want you to know I have a good relationship with you, and I've never shook your hand. But you're a good man. My wife told me that, and still share that with me. And from your support, I know that, and we are building a good relationship. Now let me read what you said. You said, my wife and I have been married 36 years because we can communicate and say sorry when needed. Come on now. Come on. That's what, you know something? That's what happened. I was in here, man, let me tell you something. My wife, sometimes she was saying, "Oh, Lord, What you gonna say? Let me tell you something. I was dealing with a lot. I got a lot going on around me. It's a lot going on around me, I can tell you, but I don't want to get into that. But yesterday, I just felt like I was just getting ready to explode. And then Lynn Nels called, and she started building me back, building me up, building up. And then after she got off the phone with me, my wife came into the room, and I dumped all that garbage all out all over the room. You didn't do this. You wasn't doing that. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. You know what happened? God, something else. I rode and went and brought this brother this fish that I had to get out of my tank. And guess what I heard while I was riding? Rodney, you didn't do this. Rodney, you didn't do that. Rodney, you know something, when I came back in, I had to tell my wife, baby, I love you. I didn't mean to be, negative. I was crying out. But you have to build on a relationship. And let me tell you what was going on. When I came back, my wife was trying to make things better for me. Working on that relationship. So, Mike, what you said is sometimes you got to just be big enough, be a bigger person in the relationship to come in and say, I'm sorry. My wife don't even say she's sorry. My wife just come fix me a sandwich and bring me something to eat. I'll be like, I can't stand you. I love you so much. Because she know exactly what to do. She ain't got to say, I'm sorry. She come in and say, you want me to rub you because your leg is aching. I've been walking around pouting all day. And she'll come right in there. Building a good relationship. Communication. Somebody said that earlier, and know that it's necessary to build a good relationship. Brenda, how you doing? Brenda from South Carolina. We love you, baby. Hey, Brenda, while you down there, hey, can you continue to have people to join in? Because we trying to build this is like an empire. Okay? Let me tell you something. It was already put on my spirit, and a lot of people told me. A lot of people said this. They said, Rodney, what you're doing is good. Well, guess what I'm saying? What we are doing is good. And we build this together. I need you. People to people, that's me, you, and them. Power to power, the power you possess, the power I possess, that positive power that makes us positive thinking people. To keep us moving forward. So please, everybody that's out there, continue to share. Listen, if it's anything that you want me to do to better myself, hey, send me a message. And then I don't care, put it on here. I don't care. Hey, and I say, I receive you. I receive you, Mike. You said thank you, brother. Guess what, man? Thank you. Thank you for just being a good man, bro. Thank you. Because, you know what? It takes one to teach one. You know? And many times when my wife has said something real positive about you, all that did was to help me to realize that, I'm moving in the right direction. I sure will, and I thank God for both of you. And we thank God for you as well, my love. Did you hear what I said? I said, we thank God for you as well, my love. See, some people, if I had said that, they would look at, oh, he flirting. No, I love you. I love you. You're beautiful. Let me tell you, I'm trying to tell people, let me tell you something. You can love more than one person. You can like. See, one of the things that's real about me, I be walking with my wife, I say, oh my God, she is gorgeous. The only thing that my wife would get on me about if I say it out loud, she'd be like, okay, don't make me hit you in the head with this hammer. Jokingly. But sometimes you just see beauty in people. So it's not all the time do people need to take it in a way to say, oh, he nasty or he trying to this and that. Let me tell you something. I am a photographer. Again, I put it out there, and I love building a strong relationship with people. And that's what we talk about. It's real talk with Rodney Grimes, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. We talked about depression earlier, and now we talk about building a strong relationship. Always be truthful, even when it may hurt. That builds trust. Always be truthful. You know, sometimes things that happen, and you feel like, you don't want to say nothing. So here I go again. My wife gonna get me for this one. I'm telling you the truth. Now, so we missing a glass in here, right? Me and my wife been looking for this glass. I don't know what happened to it. I know I ain't break it. You know what she told me the other day? She said she didn't break it. Now, it's only really been me and her in here, but then again, it happened. It's been other people. So I had to step back instead of me just pointing the finger and saying, oh, you did break the glass, because I saw she was in her feelings. I have to trust and believe, build that trust. That if my wife says she didn't break that glass, she didn't break it. And I want my wife to feel that way with me. So you got to build trust to have a strong relationship. It says, know when to step back. Sometimes just let the other person be right. Know when to step back. Come on now. Know how to disagree without an argument. Sometimes I just can say, yo, I do not agree with you, and can you give me a piece of the pizza? I don't agree with you. Would you like a glass of wine? I don't agree with you. Can I borrow $5? Come on now. You can agree to disagree and work on being truthful with one another and build a good, strong foundation in your relationship. Learn to listen and really hear the message of the other person. Now, if you want something to build a positive relationship, that's something that you really need to work on. Learn how to hear the message that's being relayed to you and not make it about you. Receive the message that's being given to you so that you can be able to understand exactly what they want you to see and hear and feel. When a person is talking to you and they're telling you that they are feeling a certain way and you not receiving it, you're not building up no trust. You up there saying, yo, I'm better than you. You up there saying what you saying don't mean nothing to me without saying anything. But if you receive the message and just let your guards down and say, you know what, baby, go ahead and talk to me. Tell me what's going on. Tell me how you feel. No, I don't agree with you, but I hear you. If you got some evidence on this, then show me, teach me. But I don't agree with you. You may find out that after you give in and let them be right, they'll come back and say, you know what, I'm sorry, you were right. But that relationship is starting to get like some power. That gorilla glue is getting in that relationship and building. It says, okay, value the message by always valuing the messenger. Come on now. Value the message that's coming from your partner. Value the message. When somebody's talking to you, let them know that you really hear them. That you really got an open ear, you can hear them, but you're receiving it in your heart. The relationship between you is going to be very, very powerful. It says, start with your small expectations of others. Build a relationship one day at a time. Come on. We get in a relationship and we start to looking at people and we starting to say, you know what? You should be like this or you should be like that. Just let the relationship build one day at a time. That's how you build a building. You want a strong relationship? Use one step at a time. When you're building a building, they don't come throw all the bricks all at one time. They start with one brick. And most of the time, it takes two or three, four, five people. It takes more than one person. One person can build a building, but I'm just saying. When you put that brick down and you tell your partner, say, hurry up and get the concrete, and they're working on the concrete, and they come over and then they give you another brick, and they say, wait a minute, hold on, don't put the brick there like that, because when you put it like that, you're going to push the concrete out. And you know, don't tell me how to fix this, I know how to do this, and then when you push it, then the concrete fall out, and then you're looking at them. Stupid. Because you didn't just take the time to say, wait a minute, hold on a minute, what are you talking about? Receive the message. Receive it. Just stop for a minute. Build a relationship that was happening while y'all laying them bricks. Sometimes the way you lay the brick may not be as strong as the way the other person laid the brick. And they teach you something. Isn't that sharp? That's one of my birthday gifts from my wife. It looks like it's a lens, but it's a cup. I got about 2 or 3 of them. That's what I had to put my tea in. So, look, we getting close down to the time we got probably about look like about 10 minutes, 8 minutes or something like that. Mm-hmm. It says, most important, know that everyone can make mistakes. No one is perfect. Know that. Nobody's perfect. So don't look at it like you better than somebody else. Angela said, get him, Zena. Angela, don't get her in no trouble. She gonna have to go move down there with you. And she eat a lot. I'm just joking. She, Lynn said, when Zena came in your voice and your body language is lifted, go beautiful, Zena. Your husband loves you. You noticed that, baby? It did, didn't it? Just from her being in the same room, always inspired me. Marriage is 2 imperfect people who refuse to give up on one another. Oh my goodness, girl! How do you pronounce her name? Dequila Thomas. Hey, Dequila, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please don't hold me to that, sweetheart, because I want to build a good relationship with you, okay? So I'm gonna just say Miss Thomas. I've been liking your comments. Marriage is 2 imperfect people who refuse to give up on one another. Come on now. Come on, that's real. So, just know that it's important for us to work on building relationships. It's important for us, if you're dealing with depression, to know that you're not alone. You're going to do a shout out real quick?
Bernard Jackson, Tay, your daughter, Sean Hare Sanders, Dequila Thomas, I hope I'm pronouncing it's a beautiful name, Eugene Williams Sr., Brenda Minnick, Brenda Marie Price, and Sherry Fleming.
Please, remember to share. A lot of times, I find myself that I'll be in a position where, we were supposed to have a guest on today, and at the last minute something happened, and I sent her peace and blessings. So, I just followed my spirit, and it was saying, you know what? It's somebody out there that needs this message today. Somebody needed to hear about depression. Somebody needed to hear about building a relationship. Some of us have family members that are not supporting us. Let me send a message to you on that. Continue to stay positive and continue to stay good in your heart. You reap what you sow. A lot of times they thinking they hurting you, they only hurting themselves. They're not working on a relationship with you. If you know you're a good person, that's their loss. Always work on a relationship within you so it will reflect when people are around you. I got more people that like me than I got that dislike me. I got more people that respect me than disrespect me. You know why? I work on my relationship with them when I'm in their presence. I work on my relationship with you every time I come on, because I want to send you peace and blessings. It's real talk with Rodney Grimes, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. I love you. I love you. I hope that you receive that. If there's anybody that heard the earlier part when we was talking about depression and you having a problem, you feel free to call me. I'm not a doctor, but I sure got an ear to hear you. If you feeling like life is just too dark and you don't want to live no more, guess what? Somebody loves you. That somebody is me. I love you and don't even know you. I love you because I know the God. We had that person talk about agape love. I know about agape love because I try to absorb it. I try to eat it. I try to write it. I try to live it, walk it, talk it, sing it. That's what I try to do. I try to respond to people the way I like or the way I want God to respond to me and take care of me. I work on my relationship with God every day. Work on your relationship with yourself. We're made in God's image. God has that agape love. If you don't know about it, just read the Bible or look it up. It's unconditional love. It's unconditional. This is Real Talk. Real Talk live with Rodney Grimes. People to people, power to power, positive people. I love you. I see you. Peace and blessings. Hey, Pooh, I hope you was watching, my brother. I love you, man. Phil, I hope you was watching. I love you, dude. I'm just want to do shout out Sharon. I love you, baby. Mwah. Hey, Angela, love you. Brenda, love you. I love you. The how did you say it?
I think it's tequila.
Is Dequila?
Tequila or tequila?
Dequila? You know what we trying to say, baby.
Dequila or
We love you, sweetheart.
I love that name.
Actually,
I'm really broken that I can't pronounce it.
We mean no disrespect. We just send a peace and happiness to you, baby. And I appreciate you all. So, hey, keep me in prayer. Keep me in prayer and hit share. Remember to go to YouTube and subscribe. We working on some real positive things. Just keep that energy coming this direction. Let people know that it's real talk. This is what we ain't coming with nothing phony. So I'm trying to wait for my wife to go ahead and shut this down, but she's Rachel said the woman must be put back on the throne for the world to change. We are unbalanced and women have been betrayed. She is and will always be the first teacher to humanity. The problem is that she's broken, hurt, confused, struggling, and in pain. So she will only produce broken, hurt, confused, struggling, and in pain children. Come on now. Just look around. We must put the Holy Mother back on the throne. We are the only species on the planet where man leads. Men have allowed their ego and greed to cause unnecessary wars and destroy the planet. We live on. You cannot have a God without a godless or a king without a queen. Oh, that's goddess. I'm sorry. Let me go back. It says you cannot have a God without a goddess or a king without a queen. We have not had balance until the woman is truly respected for who she is. Hey, Rachel, that was powerful. Sweetheart, we received that. And hold on, I'm looking at the time. I got 4 minutes from here. So now I got to feed off of that one. Hey, Queens, I'm putting you back out there. I'm saying to you, I love you. All the queens that was listening tonight, I send you love, peace, and blessings. I am a king. I say, guess what? I got a queen sitting right here, and I know what's been holding me down. I'm 60 years old, and I'm going to tell you something. I've seen many, many queens out there that's been holding it down, trying to keep us black men in a position. Men, get up and be the kings that we are. Become them warriors. Put yourself in a position where you're building those positive relationships with your children. You're standing up and walking around. Pull your pants up and stick your chest out. Walk around with pride. And don't let nobody take away your dignity. And let people know that 2 kings can walk together with 2 queens and have that respect for one another without even knowing each other. Because God has that agape love that he has for us, and we share with one another. I'm telling you. Hey, Rachel, I take that and receive it. Let me tell you something. One of my good friends, she gave us something we're going to be talking about on date night. She said that she sent me some message, and so I'm going to take that because I was listening to it. So on date night, y'all better tune in because we get ready to talk some real stuff up in here. It's going to be all about us moving forward. We're going to be talking about building good relationships with us within our marriages. We're going to talk, we keep it real. We're keeping it real. And if you're not married, don't be mad and feel like you can't be with us on date night. You're a part of us. We love you. Come on in and fix your plate. I'm not sure who we got providing a meal this Friday. And if don't nobody do it, I'm going to show you I can. Don't mess with me. I can cook too. So, we got one of those chefs out there that want to get promoted. Get some promotion. Come on, give us a call. 301-793-7342. 301-793-7342. Please just make sure you ain't got no cats and dogs in your kitchen. Because I'm telling you something, me and my wife, we don't do animals in the kitchen. I'm trying to tell you. So please make sure. Because all it takes is for me to see one piece of cat hair anywhere, and I'm done. My wife over here frowning already. Now she don't want to eat. But that's all right. I'm hungry. But again, I see you, peace and blessings. Guess what? I got 1 minute. It's 7:59. Hey, if I could just take that one last minute to say, hey, guess what? I love you. It's Real Talk with Rodney, people to people, power to power, power to people. Hit share.